Oh, my titties jiggled on that one.
Sean, I'm gonna apologize right now for your experience that you're gonna endeavor. Hello and welcome to the Not Good Enough podcast, hosted by David and Andy, reporting live on July 30th. That's David.
Andy. Oh, okay.
And joining us today, that's Sean. Hi,
Hey.
Sean.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. This is episode 20. Raindrops keep falling on our head. What's up, David?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, it's good. So I made a lot of progress on my desk. It looks so much better, but just kind of ignore the floor right now. That's not doing so hot.
Well, I'm glad our 9 viewers held you accountable for you saying last episode you're going to clean your desk.
You know,
Did
I
you
had
just
to
throw everything from the desk to the floor? Is that what happened?
I threw everything into a box that's now on the floor. Yes,
Oh, okay.
but I also moved some of the electronic equipment around. I put some things away and rearranged the desk. It looks a whole lot better.
Dude, see, that's the thing when we're putting shit away is like in 2 months, you're going to remember it, you're going to take it out, and you're never going to put it away again.
I'm trying to get better at that.
I know that pain. I've been like organizing my like room / office for like a month still, and it's like progressively getting worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have to look so hard. It's like that. Okay, there's the progress I'm making.
Yeah.
You like start at a corner, and you're like, oh, I can finally see the ground today.
Sweet. Turn around, and then there's a wall of stuff. Where did that come from?
Yeah, well, we're going to do that next week.
Yeah. Every time I make progress, I'm like, oh, right. I had like these 6 other projects I was working on, and I hid them so I wouldn't like make more of a mess. And then I made more of a mess.
Mm-hmm. So, David, what's new with you, man?
Oh, nothing. You know, I have a really important meeting after this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm over here. I'm sweating right now. Like I'm anxious as fuck at this moment.
Okay. Well, hopefully that's some good sweats.
Well, we'll see in like 2 hours.
All right, text me about it. That works.
Yeah, if I text you and be like, yo, this is some bullshit, the meeting.
I'm going to know what that means. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean, you're new here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you say is new with us, but what's new with you?
You know, just let's see, what is new?
Literally anything you say is new to us.
I know. Just I'm like, I don't know. There's a new Transformers show on Netflix. I'm pretty excited about that. Not honestly, not much is new with me. I'm mostly just keeping my head down like everybody else in this time of quarantine land. Just looking forward to going on vacation next month and getting through this month. So
yeah, man. Well, you get that countdown going.
Yeah.
Is that helping you?
It is in fact.
Isn't that weird how that works?
Yeah, because at this point I'm just kind of like mildly panicking now. So
I'm sure you'll be fine. Just bring hand sanitizer.
Yeah, and
yeah, if you can find it.
Work was kind enough to give us a bottle.
That's true. Nice.
Yeah, that was nice. But yeah, I'm gonna be flying out to Seattle next month, and that's pretty exciting. So, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything else is just like, man, stay in cover. Don't listen to the news unless I have to, and then I promptly just go listen to the news. So
on repeat.
Yeah, so that's it. You know, just
exciting.
Normal 2020 stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the show updates. So currently, we are up 22 plays from last week. We're at 254. Thanks, everybody, for listening to us. So that assumes that we have one more estimated audience size of 10.
Ooh, double digits.
So I think we're on average, David, about 9.5 people listen to us a week.
Yeah. Do we count as halves or quarters?
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know
listen
how
to
that work.
I listened to my episode like twice because I'm like, damn, this dude sounds sexy as fuck. Why are you playing?
Uh-huh. For YouTube, we're up 3 subscribers with a total of 12. Thank you
Woo.
all. Maybe one day we'll have video. Maybe.
A couple
We'll see.
months. Give us like 2. Well, I'll probably buy a camera before Andy, and Andy's gonna use his fucking smartphone.
I have been looking for cameras. I will say that.
Oh, nice.
So last 28 days, we are up 154% with 71 views. That's amazing. Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Facebook, we're still staying strong with 136 followers.
Damn, if only we can get the rest of the 126 people that are our awesome estimated audience size that don't listen to us to actually listen to us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So out
we
of
have
all those
136
numbers,
followers, only 10
Yeah.
of them are estimated audience size. We could just up that number to, we correlate with the Facebook followers. That'd be great.
yeah, and think about it. So the Facebook, the links that I post are in the Anchor numbers, right? So if we have 136 followers, we could have 136 plays a week.
Well, I guess
I don't
Andy's
know.
just gonna have to post more frequently, show up on their page.
Might have to get David on social media.
Oh Lord, are we actually gonna do this? Oh,
On to the current events. Sean, you are a special guest, and you have some news for us.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like I was looking because Andy and I were talking about. He's like, yeah, you should come do current events because this is all we talk about at work. And I was like, okay. So I was doing a little bit of research last night, and I couldn't really find anything that had me like really excited to talk about. And I wake up this morning and check the phone. President Trump has just on Twitter tried to let me read the tweet. I'd love to. Hold on.
Okay.
Because I want to get the full level of incredulousness across.
Sure.
All right, so this is what he said. With universal mail-in voting, parentheses, not absentee voting, which is good, 2020 will be the most inaccurate and fraudulent election in history. It will be a great embarrassment to the USA. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote. So there's a lot to unpack in this 140-character tweet because some of it violates constitutional law, and some of it is just like wildly inaccurate, which is kind of just the bar for everything coming out of the White House these days. So, yeah, I mean, he's this comes on the heel of him, us getting the second quarter GDP report, which was obviously an absolute disaster. Because the economy's effectively shut down, and the GDP report has historically been one of the things that he has liked to tout to his base about, like, this is how good I'm doing as a president, and now that's not happening. So in classic Trump form, he's trying to create another either create another controversy to blow over that one, or he like actually thinks that like this is the best way to deal with him not doing so great in the polls is by just not having an election, which he can't do. So that's like the main thrust of what's going on.
Yeah, that is so amazing that he would even attempt to say something like that. Like all he does is really sees the bottom line, the face value numbers, but he doesn't read into any type of context with the values.
Right.
For example, like the like he's talking about like reducing the amount of testing so we don't have as many confirmed cases. As far as like the COVID crisis that we're going through. It doesn't work that way. You know, it's based on a percentage of the population in the country. We're going to have a lot more cases because we have more people. You know, we're going to have a lot more cases in Ireland.
Right.
You know, we're bigger. It's just based on a percentage.
Mhm.
You want you want to have everybody tested, but the number of the number of confirmed cases, you would want to have it as a low percentage, you know, so that you want to have a low ratio of the number of infected people versus the non-infected people.
Mhm.
But he doesn't see it that way. And now going back to this election thing, because this is new to me. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. You said it just happened like an hour ago or so.
Yeah, this tweet was this morning at 8:46 a.m. He tweeted this. Yeah, so he got an early start today, which was impressive.
Yeah, usually it's like after 10.
I guess he decided not to watch Fox News this morning. So the things I want to stress about this are the parts of this he can and can't do.
Yeah.
Like the president, according to the Constitution, does not have the power to suspend elections.
No, he doesn't.
It is really important to, like, I feel Congress sets the date for the election, but here's one of the cool things about living in the United States, which is most of the time we think of us as one big country, but as far as like laws and rules and how we govern ourselves, we are effectively 50 countries that all trying to effectively all agree to work together. And elections are handled at the state level because effectively it's every state handles its own voting. There's actually no universal body that governs elections. It's the states themselves that run them, they do them, they report the results to the in the case of national elections, to like the electoral college and to Congress, and that's kind of where the power comes from. So like Trump saying that he wants to suspend elections, like, well, unfortunately that right doesn't exist to the federal government. It's actually explicitly given out to the states. He can't do this. Like so for instance, if he tries to suspend the election or cancels the election or does something of that nature, the Constitution actually calls out that January 20th, when we would normally go to sign in a new president, if we haven't voted for one, if there wasn't one that was elected, he just loses power. It actually goes according to presidential succession, since there won't be a vice president because technically they leave power at the same time. It would from there go to the the
Speaker.
it goes to the speaker, but there's a good chance that the speaker won't be sworn in either at that point, just due to the nature of how the Speaker of the House is chosen. So even though Congress takes their oaths of office on the 3rd instead of the 20th of January, the likelihood of having a speaker nominated and confirmed before the 20th is really low. It doesn't typically happen that quickly. So more than likely, it would be the Senate pro tempore, which is the president of the Senate. Which in this case is actually more than likely, and that's the oldest member of the Senate, which is, as of right now, a Democrat, Patrick Leahy, if I remember correctly. So, like, if in magical Christmas land, if Trump gets exactly what he wants and like the election is suspended on January 20th, he doesn't get to keep being the president.
Yeah,
a member of the Senate does, and so like this entire suggestion is utterly ludicrous because it just violates the one guiding principle that the United States has, which is the Constitution.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't believe that he has lasted this long. We have less than 100 days until like the election is going to happen.
96 days.
See, the thing is, he just likes to talk a lot. So we can all agree on that. No matter what side you're on, he just likes to talk a lot. A lot of the shit he says, like, he can't do, just like Sean stated. He doesn't have the power to do it. But then we also give him attention by thinking he has the power to do it. He doesn't have the power to do it. There's no way he could do it at all. So like we're feeding into his play, which is getting attention and being the center of attention and having all this shit going around him.
That's
Yeah,
true. He does like to be like the focus of attention of everything. You know, I've always known that this guy was all for show, all for like ego. I mean, it's all about him all the time.
Well, I mean, he was a celebrity. He had a whole bunch of shows that surrounded him as a
Yeah.
person. So,
Mhm.
not really you couldn't really expect too much coming into that front. You couldn't
mhm.
really expect him to be like a fucking Jimmy Carter, whatever the fuck, for the people would chill. You knew what you were getting into because he came up from a celebrity. You saw him and his
Yeah.
personality from day one in his shows, and in the movies that he was in. There's a whole bunch of songs after him, and saying how they want to be rich like Donald Trump and all that. So yeah, you already knew he had a big ego just
Mhm.
off what was gone before. So it's not really a big surprise that he has a big ego now, and then he's doing all this shit now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's so much. He says outrageous shit, and then we just feed into it, and we do a hypothetical situation like if he's able to do the shit that he says he can, but he's not able to do it, and that just feeds into him even more. And then that's why the
Mhm.
next shit he says is even more outrageous.
Right, which is and I completely agree. It's just I feel it's important to tell people like you know people may not remember from civics class that like the president doesn't have the power to do that. You don't like we live in this weird time where like constitutional laws is something that like I think people should be a little bit more aware of, but like I don't want this to draw attention away from the real issue, which was
Mhm.
we just had and I pulled it up here. The GD the GDP report for the last quarter was the worst in record like in history. Like in the history of
Yeah.
GDP reports, this our GDP shrank 32.9% over the last 3 months. That's huge.
Mhm.
It is a
A lot.
crippling blow
Yeah.
to our economy. And as a president who has always been an economy president, because the GDP was what he considered to be his report card, like he's now the one time that it is not going in his, or he can't spin it in a direction that looks good. And instead of taking responsibility for it or owning it or laying out a plan to recover that doesn't involve killing millions of people, he's trying to blow it off with some other controversy. And it's just this this constant circus of obfuscation, and it's just so frustrating. um that like at no point does he ever stop and like take responsibility or any of
Mhm.
the things that he just hasn't done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's so sad. I mean, he can't take responsibility for it. I mean, it's fine if you screw up. Admit it. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. Maybe. Um, but yeah, with the GDP, wasn't this like the more worse than the Great
More
Depression?
worse.
yes, this is effectively worse in modern yes. Let's look at some of the numbers. We have the overall economy in the second quarter is 9.5% smaller than it was during the same period a year ago, which is again not great.
Mhm.
And I mean, you're talking about like an economy that was also kind of in a growth bubble due to the uh pullback on taxes of businesses. So like we had been in kind of like this big economic expansion, and overinflated one in fact, due to the like rollback of a lot of regulations on particularly large corporations and businesses. And then you know the kind of like the housing bubble back in the early 2000s. Like
Mhm.
now we had an economic bubble, and the coronavirus kind of catches us sideways. And so not only do we lose all the growth that we were getting, whether it was like inflated or not, now we're in a place where like people are we're not just people, but like businesses were grossly overextended in an effort to continue to grow because they were seeing and trying to take advantage of a period of pretty heavy deregulation, and now this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna now. So if
Yeah.
guys want to say your thoughts, you could always go to our website or on YouTube or whatever and say your thoughts on that. We're gonna go ahead and go to the next segment of this episode. We're gonna go on to games. And this week we're talking about NFL Street for the Gamecube. I recently just got it, and I also got NFL Street 2, so I'll be making some comparisons on it. Let's see. Andy, have you ever played, or Sean, any of you ever played NFL Street back in the
I
day?
have not. Did you say
No.
GameCube?
Yeah.
GameCube.
Okay, just checking. Like, okay.
Yeah, you know how David keeps on saying he's an old soul? So
Yeah.
he's got all this this older gameware over there.
Hey man, I got nothing against the GameCube. There were some really solid games put out for that.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, like the Resident Evil 4 was like one of my favorite games ever. That was a GameCube game.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit. But this week we're talking about NFL Street, and see the shit. I had a lot of fun with this shit, and I used to play it a lot when I was little. I never played it on the GameCube though. I had a PlayStation 2. I never really played my GameCube back in the day, but the game is great. It's a lot of fun. There's like surprising amount of love put to it. It's an EA game and they make football games, and you look at the EA games now, like Madden, and it's like the same shit every year, and it's kind of fucked. And this game just has a whole bunch of love to it, and you can see it. You can see by the way that it's like portrayed, and by the way there's like a whole bunch of banter going on by the characters and stuff in the middle of plays and all that stuff. A lot of shit talking, and it's great. There's a lot of love and care and personality put into it.
Cute.
So it's a great amount of fun. The AI is kind of ridiculous though, especially like when you do the NFL challenges and you go to like the legendary skill difficulty. Like difficulty in most games, some of them cheat. Basically, the AI basically breaks the fucking physics of the game.
Yeah.
Or other games, in like the case of Jedi Fallen Order, the enemies don't have more health or anything like that. The parry window is just smaller.
Okay.
That's a good example of great difficulty curves. For getting a higher difficulty. It's not cheating. This game is borderline fucking cheating. Where like if you're winning and you're like a touchdown away from winning the game, you just fucking fumble. Doesn't matter what fucking player you have. I got Ricky Williams. I got him pretty early in the NFL challenge mode. And in the middle of the fucking game, I'm about to win. I'm like 10 yards away from the end zone. He just fucking fumbles. And Ricky Williams doesn't really fucking fumble. And it's ridiculous for me because, yeah, they fumble. That's great. But at the end of the day, he didn't fumble the whole fucking game before that. And all I do is run. Because that's, running is like OP in the first game. So this shit's annoying. That the AI fucking cheats that way. Or like they break every fucking tackle. There's 7 guys. It's 7-on-7 football, right? They break all 7 on the defense. Just to score. Just so you lose in the last second. But the thing I liked about the game, it had great potential, and it was expanded on in the second game. So like the walls and all that stuff in the first game, you hit the wall, all that, blah blah blah. It looked like in the second game they made it to where you could do tricks off the wall. You could juke, you could hurdle off the wall, you could dive off the wall, you could catch the football off the wall. That shit's great, and that's why the second game I find is better in that regard. But both games are missing like valuable players. So like the first game had Ricky Williams, but then the second game did not have Ricky Williams, and it's like a 2-year apart game or whatever. And then Devin Hester is not in the second game, which I feel like he should be. He's he's my second favorite NFL player. One thing I did gush over, no homo, was the Sean Taylor is on the second game. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Sean Taylor. Anybody know who Sean Taylor is?
Yeah, heard of him just now.
Oh, okay.
Sports are played with balls, right? That's how that works.
Okay, so Sean's one of those. Sean Taylor was a safety for the Redskins back in the early 2000s, and he died. he got shot in the thigh, I believe, and it hit like a blood vessel, and he died in the hospital. They only played like 3 years, but he's like considered one of the best safeties of all time. He's up there in those 3 years or whatever that he played, and that's my favorite player of all time. So getting him in the second game, that, I felt that made me feel really nice. And speaking of the game, like, it's not dated. It doesn't feel dated. Because most of those games you play, the early 2001s, you play them now, and it's like, ugh. Like, I also have the Spider-Man game in the GameCube, like on the GameCube, and it's dated. The controls are dated. All that is dated.
Which one?
The original, like the OG,
like
Spider-Man
the movie
game. The
movie
movie
okay,
game,
yeah. Gotcha.
Like, those controls are dated.
Yeah.
You can't. What was it? You can't run and move the camera. So, like, if you move the camera in most games now, you run the direction the camera's facing. Not in that game. If you move the stick and then move the camera stick after you start moving your character, you have to stop moving your character, turn the camera, and then move so the character can move in that direction. That's all outdated. And now you look at NFL Street in the first and the second one, and the controls don't feel dated. The AI is kind of bullshit at times, but in other times, there's some things that are broken on your end, like the catching. That does feel a little not dated, but not worked on enough. That it's underbaked, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you try to catch on defense, you fucking fumble the ball's in your hands, right? And even a kid could fucking catch the ball. It's like literally in your hands, and you just fucking drop it. That's annoying. And that's what I've caught that more in the first game than in the second game. Second game really fixes a whole bunch of stuff, but the first game I really loved, and even though I prefer the second one, first game is always going to be in my heart. So yeah, that's my little game. I want to say review, but game thoughts for this week.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Going back with nostalgia, you could say.
Yeah, nostalgia, and it's just a whole bunch of fun. There's not really a whole bunch of good football games out now, so I got to play the old ones that are really good. So yeah, we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go to John. He actually has a movie review for us this week. We're gonna have John review The Invisible Man. Go ahead, John.
Andy and David, podcasting community. What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing all right this week. Halfway through Wednesday night for me, and I just finished The Invisible Man. I hope everybody's doing okay out there, staying safe. So let's get into this thing. This year's The Invisible Man came out on February 28th. Which was my birthday, just a heads up. It was written and directed by Leigh Whannell. Leigh Whannell is most known for his involvement in setting up some of the horror franchises such as Saw and The Conjuring, as well as having his hand in both writing and directing, in some capacity, all four of the Insidious films, which I believe he wrote all four, but he ended up directing number 4, The Last Key. The Invisible Man is the story of a woman, Cecilia Cass. She's dealing with the after effect of a relationship gone south, which results in the apparent suicide of her husband and famed scientist Adrian Griffin. Left with a huge sum of money. All Cecilia had to do is to be declared mentally competent, or just be declared that she's not insane. It's only then that our protagonist finds out everything is not as it seems, as she finds it harder and harder to be able to declare herself sane. As the movie goes on, as some crazy shit happens. This movie is rad. This movie's rad as fuck. I think I've watched it like 5 times already this year. I can't recommend it enough. To me, Mr. Whannell is such an incredibly gifted writer, and mix that, with Blumhouse helped produce this thing, and they always are always under the notion that if you give a writer or a director a lot of money, that it doesn't always come out well. So Blumhouse is always looking for ways to keep the creative gene going. So they never really do big budgets, which has really worked out for them. They've done, Get Out, all the Paranormal Activities. They do really cheap horror movies that end up making them a lot of money. Mr. Winnell and Blumhouse, they're both known for horror films. And this one's no different. This one was creepy as balls. Mr. Winnell and Blumhouse knocked this one out of the park. I mean, he's such an incredibly gifted director, and it shows in this movie. He cut his teeth, so to speak, with directing. Insidious 4. There it is. Where's my notes? Right there. Yeah, Insidious 4, The Last Key. And he, back in 2018, he wrote and directed Upgrade, which, if you haven't checked it out, you guys need to check that one out as well. It's fucking sweet. Lee Winnell right now, he's showing he can hang with the best of them, especially when it comes to directing horror. I know he and James Wan have been friends and went to the same school for making movies, and they came up together, doing the Saw franchises, and then setting up the Insidious and the Conjuring, and so I mean they know what they're doing when it comes to horror films, and The Invisible Man is no different. Let's get down to some specifics. The acting in this was awesome, fantastic performances, all around. Elizabeth Moss absolutely is the standout. She's been known for her breakout role in Handmaid's Tale over the last couple of years, and has slowly been working her way into movies, which is good. I mean, she's fucking sick in this one, especially her ability to emote. She has such a way of showing, terror, anger, confusion, despair. She's such an incredible, acting talent, and I think she shines. I think she shines in this movie. She's definitely the highlight. And I got to give credit to Oliver Jackson Cohen. He's not in the movie a lot, per se, but when he is in the movie, I mean, he's a rock star. He's fucking sick in this one. It is creepy as hell. He has such a, how do I put it? Like ominous, like a creepy and ominous presence, when he's on the screen. Oliver Jackson Cohen, he plays Adrian Griffin. He plays the husband who supposedly kills himself. He's known for Netflix's The Haunting of Hill House, which was on Netflix by Mike Flanagan, who's another awesome horror director. He's done such things as like Doctor Sleep and Oculus and a whole bunch of things. Especially with Netflix, that's a good team up. If you haven't seen The Haunting of Hill House and you want to be creeped out, definitely check that one out too. That was sick. I really enjoyed that one. The side actors were incredible. The casting was spot on, and I love this movie. It came out on my birthday, and I'm such a huge fan of the Universal Monsters. I have a whole bunch of T-shirts. I have the collection on DVD. So anything dealing with Universal Monsters, I'm about. Even things that I shouldn't enjoy, like 2017's The Mummy. There's something about having a presence in, or just being attached to that Universal Monsters that I have just such an affinity for. And I mean, this movie's no different. I think I've seen this movie like 5 times already this year. It's one of my go-tos, especially with all this quarantine and stuff going on. Just being stuck in the house. This is one that I find myself going back and rewatching. And it has such rewatchability. The cinematography in this one is gnarly. It is so sick. It does such a great job of setting up such a creepy, tense atmosphere. It is borderline anxiety inducing. Mr. Warnell is so good, especially with his cinematographer, at slow panning and kind of just like setting up rooms. Like things won't be happening straight on centerfold into the camera, but he'll have the camera set up just ever so slightly so that there could be something going on in the corner of the screen, even though there's nothing there. But the way the camera's set up, it draws your eye to the corner of the room, and then it starts, you start to think, oh God, something's going on over there. And I think that was so smart to do that, especially, it being the Invisible Man, and we, the audience, not being able to see what's going on. So that's such a smart way to manipulate the audience and to get us creeped out. And I loved it. It's a breath of fresh air for Universal Monsters, like I said, especially after the Mummy flopped, and then they dissolved the Dark Universe, which is a shame. But Lee Whannell, he finds a balance of respecting the source material, of the original, and things that have come by it, especially the Universal Monster name. He finds a good balance between that and keeping the story grounded in modernity, keeping the story modern. It has some awesome themes, and I think it has themes that are so relevant to audiences today, such as female empowerment. And one of the themes that I think is what I was so interested by is this idea of being gaslit, in the way that manipulation, its effect on modern day relationships, and I think he does a good job of exploring that. I would say that this movie absolutely is an all around success, with some genuinely scary scenes and just some damn fun ones. I mean, this is a fucking ride. I love this one. One scene in particular has a bunch of security guards, and they're just getting their shit rocked by somebody, and I won't say who's in the invisibility suit. But yeah, I love this flick, and I'm optimistic for the future of Universal Monsters, and really just horror movies on a whole, especially if they're in the hands of Blumhouse, and the directors and talents that they have under contract. If you got the $1.80 in your account and you got some time, you want to get spooked and entertained, I would highly recommend you check this one out, if you haven't already. And if you have, who knows, maybe check it out again. It's a good time. And I think Rotten Tomatoes agrees with me. The movie's sitting at a cool 92%. Yeah, go check this one out. I adore this film. I can't stop watching it. Definitely check this one out. But I think that's going to be it for me this week. So I hope everybody has a safe and healthy week. And until the next review, I hope you guys enjoy the movie. Peace.
All right. Thank you for that movie review, John. Let's see. We're going to take a quick break, guys. We go on break. It's break time.
All
We're
right,
gonna
get some
go hit the
coffee.
bathrooms, get our coffees, kiss our wives in the mouth, and we'll be right back.
All right, and welcome back. David, Sean, we are halfway through our episode 20. We're having a good time over here. So now we're going to come into our next segment of Conspiracy of the Week. Sean, I know you're going to enjoy this.
I'm going to just grit my teeth and bear it.
All right, because I got a couple short ones for you this week. Let me get this situated here. So, conspiracies of the week. They're everywhere and can be about everything. So this week, I'm bringing you guys 4 short conspiracies about the royal family. So, number 1, Prince Charles is a vampire.
Fresh off, straight off the bat. We're going
Right off the bat. That motherfucker's a bloodsucker. Yeah. So, in 2011, Prince Charles promoted a television show inspired by his fascination and interest in Romania's Transylvania. He revealed his revelation to the 15th century Romanian prince, Vlad the Impaler, who was the inspiration behind Bram Stoker's 1897 story of Dracula. However, the Prince of Wales has no interest in bloodsucking, or so he says. According to CBS, the future king touched on his genealogy, which proves his relation to the infamous prince. Prince Charles used his blood connection to Vlad the Impaler to promote his interest in the future of the country and focus on the conservation of its forests. He even owns a home in Transylvania. Of course, they say vampires aren't actually real, so some would think this conspiracy theory quite comical. Aside from their genealogy, Prince Charles and Vlad the Impaler don't have much in common. After all, the Romanian prince was famous for sadism and sadism and torture with tens of thousands of victims. Prince Charles isn't exactly known for torturous executions. Other quick conspiracies about the royal family. Queen Elizabeth I was a man. Thanks to her impressive leadership, intelligence, and financial habits, of course, she's not a woman. I'm just kidding. The legend suggests...
Andy, bro, you had me sweating, bro.
Sir, you're already sweating. The legend suggests that a young Lady Elizabeth got sick and dies at her family's abode in Bisley, England. With her father, King Henry VIII, arrived, servants feared execution, so they dressed a boy from the neighborhood as Elizabeth. Yeah, that has since been debunked by evidence. Prince Charles and Princess Diana have a secret daughter. While this conspiracy theory is completely possible, many have found the idea of Princess Diana and Prince Charles's secret daughter stems from a fictional story. Long story short, the theory suggests that before Princess Diana married Prince Charles, Queen Elizabeth forced her to undergo a fertility test. The eggs were allegedly fertilized with Prince Charles's sperm without their knowledge and implanted via IVF into Diana's doctor's wife. The alleged daughter name is Sarah, and she lives in hiding in a small New England town in the United States. The conspiracy appears to be based on Nancy E. Ryan's novel, The Disappearance of Olivia. And one more, Queen Elizabeth is an alien. Of course she is. Conspiracy theorists and former BBC...
I just can't.
Conspiracy theorist and former BBC sports reporter David Icke claim that certain members of the elite, like Queen Elizabeth II, are Anunnaki, a band of reptile humanoids. The lizard people are world leaders and public figures, and they are responsible, he claims, for 9/11 and the Holocaust.
Nice.
Okay, so everything you just said, it sounded like episodes of Doctor Who.
That's amazing.
It's something.
But yeah, that's the content I got for you guys. I told you they were short about the royal family. What you guys think?
Let's see. On this Prince Charles is a vampire thing. I guess the most important part that states that this isn't real is that Dracula is based off Vlad the Impaler, but Vlad the Impaler wasn't portrayed as a vampire. He's a real person who just tortured people, and then Dracula was based off him. But then because Prince Charles is related to him, that makes Prince Charles a vampire. But then again,
also he loves that area. Of the Dracula's castle is. Yeah.
How dare he like an area?
Yeah. I mean, it just has to be. Yeah, he has to be, a vampire because it's all part of the family, I guess.
Yeah. The family that is based off a vampire that came out way after Vlad the Impaler in a fictional story.
Killing me.
And I think there was a vampire before that. What was it? Nosferatu?
Yep.
Well, no. Well, vampires have existed in folklore for generations, but like the Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula, is widely considered to be like the first modern depiction of that whole genre. Like it and Mary Shelley's Frankensteins are really considered to be like the beginning of like Gothic horror. I read a lot.
Yeah. I don't read personally. Words are a big blur.
With all these markings.
But yeah, I mean, just like that'd be like somebody thinking, I don't know, I'm a fisherman because I like visiting the Panhandle. Like, this just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, dude, you wear fucking bucket hats. You 100% love getting your fishing pole and going out to the river and putting it down. How dare you wear a bucket hat?
I'm also not famous, so I don't think anybody actually gives a damn.
Don't worry, we have 10 people that give a damn about us. Apparently,
I think 2 of them are us, man.
Yeah, we have 136 fake friends on Facebook.
And he kept getting mad at me that I don't listen to the show. He's like, "You're gonna come on and not listen to it?" I was like,
"Yo, listen to anything." Hold on, yo, that's fucked up. I'm not gonna lie, that got fucked up. Yeah, at least I don't listen to the show, but I make the motherfuckers, so it's a little different.
I mean, you and I are kind of in the same boat then. Not the first podcast I've been on that I didn't listen to.
Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Give me a transcript. I'll read it.
Oh my God. All right, Queen Elizabeth was a man. Let's give our thoughts on that one.
What?
Oh well, Queen Elizabeth the first.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The OG.
The OG. Queen OG.
Yeah, Queen OG Elizabeth, or King Elizabeth the first now. Was a man.
King Elizabeth, yeah. I don't know, man. I think it's all part of being sexist, Oh, this person is, it can't be a woman. Must be a man.
No, see, the thing is, if you read here, it says that apparently they thought that she died, and then they dressed a boy from the neighborhood up as Elizabeth, which is fucking bonkers to me, because why the fuck would you get a boy to dress as a girl when you could just get a girl to dress like the same girl, and then you don't have to worry about the dude tucking in his penis? I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's that too. Don't know, man.
I mean,
but apparently it was already debunked.
Good.
yeah.
Half of this shit is crazy, or more than half of these four that you talked about is crazy. The secret daughter one is the one I believe the most, probably because it's like the only like really plausible one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, plausible. But Queen Elizabeth was also an alien, so this one doesn't have a
that
number.
was
So I don't know
Elizabeth
if it's the
II,
old
right?
one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a number. Yeah,
That was the current Elizabeth.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
There's only
the
two.
current queen.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've never heard of Queen Elizabeth III.
Shit, I didn't know it was a second.
She's not that old.
Yo, this bitch been around for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not the same Queen Elizabeth.
Well, probably because she's an Anunnaki. She's the lizard people.
She is the lizard people.
Yeah, that means Britain Spider-Man, UK Spider-Man's gonna go and stop her from turning the whole country into lizards.
Well, I followed that logic, and I didn't want to. But yeah, no, that's just ridiculous. I mean, like,
you know, Sean, I picked them out just for you because I knew that they would just be totally ridiculous.
yeah, there's.
Now, you know that I love conspiracy theories and I'm open-minded with things, but these are
even you were like,
they're on the fence for me. Yeah. Although the secret child definitely is most likely possible. Yeah, for sure. But everything else is just speculation and, folklore.
Right. It's still, oh God, yeah. No, I mean, that, I can't see that happening. I mean, not to mention there's just so many other problems with, like, other people involved in that whole shenaniganry.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I've never heard that word before. That was amazing.
Try working with the guy. I'm like, is this even English?
I can't. Well, and I have to tell him that what he says isn't English most of the time.
That drives me insane.
It's because I influenced him. When we work together, I would just come up with shit, and he'd be like, "Is that real?" I'm like, "Yeah, dude, say it."
I said it, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah. The fucking is an alien. Like, can we please? Can we please? And I am the constant Scully to his Mulder at work. And
oh my God, yes.
So when he told me there was going to be like a conspiracy segment, I'm just like, I'm just going to not talk. That's my only answer.
But let's see. We're gonna go on to the last segment of the episode. Wrap this up. We're gonna go to the "What Makes Us Mad" segment. And this week we're talking about the innocent before proven guilty American thing, or citizen thing, whatever, is no longer something that's viable nowadays. It seems like. And
innocent before proven guilty, huh?
The presumption of
Oh wait, until proven guilty. Oh shit.
Wait, well, so where were you going with that?
Wait, okay, yeah. Regroup, David, and circle back. Let us know what you're actually trying to say.
Well, dude, you want me to record this episode at 10 in the morning? You expect me to fucking type this shit out perfectly? Innocent until proven guilty. And my specific example this week is Tory Lanez. Now, Tory Lanez is a Canadian rapper, and recently he's been in the news because he was hanging out with this one rapper, Meg Thee Stallion, and she got shot. She ended up getting shot in both feet. She ended up going to the hospital.
Ouch.
And Tory got arrested for having gun charges for possession of a weapon, and I think he's a felon. So I think it was like a felon charge. And most signs pointed to this man shot her. There was they were all in a car together. She got out the car. She got shot in both feet. And I'm not gonna deny and say that Tory, the signs aren't pointing at him. But at the same time, there's like a whole bunch of people canceling him. There's a petition going out to deport him back to Canada. And there's this singer, Kalani, is taking him out of he has a verse on one of her songs on her new album. She's taking him out of the verse on the YouTube video, on the music video. So his verse is no longer on her song. And the thing is, nothing's came out. There's an investigation going on, obviously. Meg hasn't said anything. Some of her friends have been pointing it at Tory, but at the same time, they weren't there. None of them were there. And Tory hasn't said anything. Police haven't said anything. So you can't 100% confirm that Tory shot her. But people are canceling him and doing all this stuff, and I feel like they're jumping the gun. And I feel like, where is that innocent until proven guilty thing going? Where is that at?
Yeah. Wow. Well, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes me mad that they're going out of the way to do some shit that hasn't 100% been confirmed by either party or the guy or the police that are investigating the thing. And it's it seems all eerie. It's really eerie, everything.
Well, when any type of celebrity like this is involved in like a situation of like a shooting, I mean, this is like common, I think.
Well, he raps about gang violence. I listen to Tory. He's in my top 10 favorite rappers. I listen to him a lot. I went to his concert a couple months ago here in Gainesville. I listen to Tory. And he raps he raps about that life. But then if he did, I want to say he's the one that shot her, but he's in that conversation of the people that shot her, and people are all surprised and they're canceling him and shit. It's like a goddamn, who was it, man? Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne got arrested a while ago, like 2007 or whatever, because he had gun charges and he was in jail for like a year. People weren't surprised because he would rap about the guns and shit. But now people are like, going out of the fucking way to do this shit. Nobody knows what the fuck happened.
Well, I'm sure they're gonna figure it out.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like they're jumping the gun. He's innocent.
No
until proven
pun
guilty.
Intended. That was terrible, David.
Well, I mean, yeah, in a court of law, but like the court of public opinion is a completely different matter. Like I mean, it's hard because like, where do you draw the line between believing somebody and then ruining somebody's financial well-being? But at the same time, is there any reason to not believe the other person?
Well, the thing is, nobody said anything. Nobody has said Tory shot her. Like her like producer friend has pointed to that conclusion, but nobody that was in that situation. It was a chauffeur, Tory, Meg, and then Meg's friend. They're all in the car together. None of them has said Tory was the one that shot Meg. Meg didn't say it. The friend didn't say it. The chauffeur didn't say it, and Tory hasn't said anything.
So nobody is quote unquote snitching.
Nobody's snitching, and the police have said nobody's cooperating.
This is fascinating. So randomly, this person comes out of the car with both their feet shot.
Yeah, she got out the car, and if I remember the story correct, she got out the car and then she got shot.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I really never heard of this person before. Tory Lanez. That is their stage name. Their birth name is Daystar Peterson. Yes. Peterson. He's 28 years old right now. Fascinating.
And he's having like the best year of his fucking career this year. And it's crazy that this is happening. But see, I understand the public opinion is different, and like the way they do shit is different from the law. The innocent until proven guilty is a law thing. I understand that. But you jump all these guns, no pun intended, or pun fully intended. Fuck you. You jump all these guns, and then what if it turns out that he didn't do it? What if it turns out by some out of all the odds, somebody else was there and shot her in both feet? Then what? Oh, you're gonna fucking welcome Tori back? Okay, why'd you cancel him in the beginning if you didn't know what actually happened?
So I got a paragraph. I think this is what you're talking about. July 12th, 2020. After leaving a house party where there had been an argument that resulted in violence, Lanes was arrested in the Hollywood Hills and charged with carrying a concealed weapon in his vehicle. Another rap artist, Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah, well, Megan Thee Stallion was also in the car and was initially reported to have had a foot wound caused by glass. However, in an Instagram post, Megan later disputed this, stating she underwent surgery after suffering, quote, gunshot wounds as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me, end quote. She did not state who shot her.
She did not. And, it points at Tori because Tori was the one that got arrested for the gun charge. But you don't 100% know. You can't sit here and say you're 100% sure that Tori did it, because at the end of the day, there should be at least 1%, if anything, if you're so on Meg's side, you should have at least 1% saying, well, nobody said anything. We'll probably see what the fuck actually happened when somebody says something that was actually there.
Well, I hope for everybody's sanity's sake, especially yours, David, I hope that somebody comes out and actually explains what happened.
I mean, it's just kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie. But it sucks. It sucks. It sucks seeing one of my favorite artists being canceled for something that we don't know the truth yet. And maybe we will find out the truth soon. Maybe we won't find the truth soon. But we shouldn't jump the gun on it either, you know?
Right.
But yeah, I think that concludes this episode. Andy and Sean, we're gonna go ahead and link our next week's thing this week. See, next week's game we have doing the PS3 version of Spider-Man 3 versus the PS4 version of Spider-Man, the Marvel version.
Okay.
Marvel Spider-Man. And then next week, Conspiracy Andy, go ahead.
5G towers. What are they?
Yep, we're going to talk about the 5G towers next week, so tune in next episode as well. And
right.
Remember, we are on lots of different platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, and YouTube. We also have our own website at notgoodenoughpodcast.weebly.com. And that concludes this episode.
Smash that like button.
Yeah,
ring
share.
that bell.
Yeah, your Facebook friends, send them the link to force them to listen to it.
Spread us like a virus.
Yeah, a nice one that has good rookie numbers. That population control. Let us control half the population. Yeah,
that's terrible. Sean, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you so much for having me.
Maybe you'll come back again in a later time.
Andy took the thanks out of my mouth. Thank you, Sean, for coming on to this episode.
Absolutely.
You gave me more time to eat my garlic toast, so I appreciate you.
I don't want garlic toast.
No, I'm hungry.
Well, go to Publix. But let's see, Andy. Was that good enough?
We're getting there, man, but I don't think so.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ, Andy. It's one phrase, man. It's one phrase. Just say the phrase correctly. Fuck.
David, I'm never going to be able to say the phrase. It's never going to be good enough. You happy?
Oh, there we go, guys. We did it. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.